Hey guys, Dave and Len here. We just played Waterloo 20, 16th through 18th of June 1815. This is Napoleonic game number 1 from Victory Point Games. It's a micro game. Basically, it's kind of on the operational level. And there's less than 20 units on the board at all times, so it's a small in that scale, but it's got more rules than the typical micro game. The game has a morale track, and a morale track's important because if you fall to 0 morale, you're automatically defeated. And there's other things you can do in the game that'll either increase or decrease your morale. Obviously, if you lose a unit, your morale is going to be decreased. Or if you take an enemy's objective, then their morale is decreased. So you're keeping track of the morale most of the game. And then it's got these special event cards, or random event cards, which I thought didn't help the game at all. They kind of screwed him because the random event cards, some of them you roll, and if you roll bad, then you lose some morale points, and that happened to him like 3 turns in a row. So there's 3 of your morale points, and he only started with 7, so that really screwed him. So I think the game would have been better off without the random events. I know game designers like having cards in their games and stuff, but in this case it didn't add any value, and actually the game would have been better without it. But the game's fun to play, and it plays quick. I mean, we played this in, what, about an hour and 15 minutes?
Yeah, and this was the first time we played it, too.
Yep. And I prefer this game. I'm not a Napoleonic player, but this one's better than, like, for example, Avalon Hill's Battle for Italy, which is kind of a micro game, Napoleonic type game, too. This is definitely superior to that. It's actually not bad. Like I said, I'm not a Napoleonic player, but this one I'm willing to play. This one's not bad at all. Not a great game or anything, but it's not bad. What'd you think of it?
I got my reservations. First of all, my joke is this takes place in an alternative universe. The first day, we only have 2 turns before nightfall, and they actually start at 11 o'clock, so they should have a morning turn. The second day, it rained all day, but here we had, the second day, you had plenty of time to move and move and attack. And actually, a lot of the system isn't too bad. It is kind of simple. It does have, if they had a rainy second day, then I could understand. 'Cause you do have a lot of the problems both commanders have. Well, Wellington has to hold on, while Napoleon has to force the issue, and he has to sometimes extend his forces.
And Napoleon had superior cavalry, or more cavalry rather, and there's a phase in the turn where the cavalry can do a counterattack, so that definitely went in the French favor, them having more cavalry. Yeah. And the English don't have any cavalry until what, the 3rd or the 4th turn or something. Yeah. Before that, they don't have any whatsoever, so they can't even do that phase, really.
Yeah. And also, it would have been nice if they marked the unit what corps they were or what division. So
that matters to you?
Yes, that matters to me.
Oh, okay.
So
to me, I'm just concerned with what its combat strength and its movement value is. I don't care what corps it belongs to.
Yeah. This is definitely not like the usual Waterloo games where the units are either brigades or regiments. And it's a whole map, and they take forever to play. So.
Yeah. One thing I would like to point out is the setup was kind of marked kind of weird. Like, the units had like a 1, 2, or a G if they're guard units, or a 4, an IV or whatever. And on the setup, some of them said like 2C, and I was looking at it, I was like, what are they talking about? None of these say 2C, and then it occurred to me the C must mean cavalry, so yeah, they could have wrote that a little bit better. Other than that, yeah, like I said, I like the game. It's not bad at all. Would you recommend it?
Okay, I was supposed to say, if you are unfamiliar with Napoleonics, or, this isn't a bad game to play. You'll learn later on that it's supposed to rain all through the second day, but you won't know that. So it definitely has the feel of a Napoleonic game. So and it has all the basics of the strategy, the tactics, in a very simplified manner. Even though I hate the cards, You know, I think the cards throw, you know, I love...
Yeah, they don't add any value. War games, it's pretty rare that a card actually adds value. Don't get me wrong, there's some games, war games like Twilight Struggle, obviously that one, it adds value since the whole game's based on the cards, but something like this, the random events...
I was going to say, if I was to replay this again, I'd try it without the cards.
Yeah, it'd probably be better without it.
Yeah. Because too much bad luck, and I more felt that I lost this game to bad luck. Now, if we didn't have the cards, I wouldn't have known I was thoroughly whipped. So,
all right, I recommend. He probably doesn't. So.
Well, actually, with reservations.
With reservation,
yeah,
okay.
Historical accuracy is not as good as.
Well, it's a micro game, so.
Yeah, well, with Joseph Miranda, I expect better. So that's, but if, like I said, if you're a beginner or you're not familiar with this period, you'll like it.
Yeah.
It has all the basics without all the complications.
All right, guys, that's all we got. We'll have a new review for you next week. Not sure what yet, but we'll think of something. Yeah. Have a good is it evening? No, it's not evening. It's daytime. Have a good day. Welcome to the Battle of Zama Kickstarter. Battle of Zama is a video game about one of the most important battles in history. Scipio from Rome's army met Hannibal's army on the battlefield in Carthage. Historically, the Romans won. However, if they would have lost, the world would be completely different, because Carthage would have been the primary influence in Europe and the Mediterranean instead of Rome. Battle of Zama is inspired by old Avalon Hill and SPI games. It uses a square grid instead of a hex map because historically, ancient army units rarely moved at a diagonal. Units can change facing, move, range fire, and melee. In addition, units that are part of a formation can move together to make movement faster. One of the most interesting parts of this game is the elephant berserk phase. Historically, when Hannibal attacked with his elephants, the Roman cavalry blew large horns to scare the elephants, and many went berserk and charged Hannibal's own units. In this phase, the elephants are completely controlled by the AI, and the ones that randomly go berserk will charge in a random direction and then do both a ranged and a melee attack at whatever unit they are near. Afterwards, the berserk elephants' handlers will kill the elephants. In order to win the game, the Romans must either kill Hannibal or cause the Carthaginian army to surrender by reducing it to 10 or fewer units. The Carthaginians win if they kill Scipio or cause the Romans to surrender by reducing them to 10 or fewer units. The three modes of play are one player where you play the Romans and the Carthaginians are controlled by an AI, one player where you play the Carthaginians and the Romans are controlled by the AI, or two players where you can either control both sides by yourself or sit somebody else at your computer with you and play against them. The two-player mode is complete. The only thing left to do in this game is to create the AI for the one-player modes. Backers can back this game for $10 to receive a digital download of the Windows or Macintosh version when it's ready. There is also two additional optional add-ons for $150 each. The two lucky backers will have their face used on either the Hannibal or the Scipio counter. Backers will be able to download Battle of Zama on January 1st, 2023 at the latest. The launch date has been created farther in the future than it really needs to be, just to ensure the game is ready when promised. If it's finished early, you will receive the game sooner than expected. This is a low-risk Kickstarter because I've successfully created 6 indie video games in the past and work as a senior software engineer in my day job. I've proven over the last 25 years that I can create high-quality software that is delivered on time. Thanks for watching, and please consider supporting this project. The game engine I've built is reusable, and I plan on creating several other ancient warfare video games over the next few years. Have a good evening.